We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dharma Friends live stream hangout. I guess it also says ask a Zen teacher anything. And I think the last time I started this, last week, we'll find the Zen teacher in the chat and then we'll ask them. How's everyone doing so far? If you haven't already, I say only one person has. Let us know in the chat where you are tuning in from. Just make sure everything is working properly. I've been getting very lucky lately with technology. Nothing is breaking. I did spill water on my keyboard, but I quickly dried it off and it seems to be fine. So let's see who's here first. Cesare. Now Cesare was here. Wasn't here early today. You were here, let's see, 5 minutes ago. Cesare says, hello there. Quick hello, then I have something to do for school. You've been very busy. You got to do something about that. Me too. Adam's here. Adam says, hello from Poland. Hey, Adam. Good to see you. I believe that's Varda. Is that Varda? Hello from Israel. How's it going over there? I'm just waiting for, there we go. Yeah, Varda. I could tell by your, I think it's the last part of your name there. How are you doing over there? We are in shelter still. Okay. Kwanzaa Bolsa, man. I'm very sorry. Maybe it's just something we should talk about today. It's something I talk about quite a lot in my videos. You know, it's very interesting. I think I've said this in a few live streams that every year, usually lately in the last couple of years, in the beginning of the year, I kind of look at my YouTube channel and I look at the direction of it, also the simplicity of it. I'm trying to make it simple, clear. All right. One thing is I noticed something, and I'm not going to stop doing this, but something I noticed with my videos. The videos where I'm really calling human beings out, and I think the video is called, let me see if I can find this. People get very sensitive when I call human beings out. The video is called The Most Dangerous Animal on Earth and Why. So I talk about human beings and how we're quite stupid. And Zen Master Sung Song has said this too. How we don't perceive the connection with this world. I think in the video, in the beginning of it, it shows the world spinning around. And I said something like, if aliens, if they were looking at Earth, they would think that we are the stupidest species around, probably in the galaxy. Why? Well, first of all, we draw imaginary borders, right? So that you can see the Earth spinning. It's pretty cool. My kids have been really interested in this. It's like, how do people just draw lines and then call it theirs, right? It's like human beings. So we make imaginary borders. Then we fight over them. We kill our own species and we destroy our home. And that video, I have to say, let's see. Out of all my videos, And that's not so important to me, the analytics. I do want to know if something's like, um, if there's something I'm doing that's not connecting with people. But I don't think this was the case. This got like 153 views and it's 3 months old. Like some of my other ones got 570 views, maybe 300 views, 400 views, even 270 something. But that one, 153 views. And the people who commented on this weren't too happy. And it's almost like we're afraid to look at ourselves and be honest. And I'm talking about all of us. I'm not just pointing the finger to certain people. Now, certain people are doing more harmful things than others, but we have to look at our own lives and how we perceive this world and how we perceive other human beings. Anyways, I just thought I'd throw that out there because I'm not happy with human beings right now. So Varda's saying the sirens are going on now. Stay safe, please. Kwansing Bosa. Anyways, if you're just joining us, welcome to the Dharma Friends live stream hangout. It's a good chance to connect. Also, if you have any questions about Zen, meditation, practice, your life, any kind of question, you can put it in the chat. Let's see who else is here. So Adam says, Kwansing Bosa. This is for Varda. Danny's here. Hey, Danny. Hello from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Good to see you. John, hey, you guys. You're not late. You're at 12:03. It says 3 minutes late. What's going on over there? COVID still isn't any fun. Wow, you're still struggling with that, huh? I'm guessing that's why I don't see you at, I haven't seen you at Thursday morning practice. Is that right? Let me know. Let's see who else is here. Is it zero? Oh, zero. Anti-zero in Cultura. Hello from Romania. Philip here. Oh, hey, Philip. I was trying to read your username, your YouTube username. But Philip, we all know. Philip, I have something to, say to you. I'm going to tell you something. And I think you were the one who messaged me. Yeah. So I won't talk about the topic, but Philip, you sent me a question. God, when was that now? That was in January. Wow, time goes by fast. And I made a video about it, but I haven't released it. I'm not sure why. I may put it up in the Patreon community or just send it to you. Anyways, it was regarding the question that you sent to me. I hope you're doing well. Welcome, everyone. Again, if you haven't already, let us know in the chat where you are streaming or where you are watching the stream. My brain is not working today. You were waiting for someone to ask about it. Was that what it was? Yeah, it's funny. I made it. It was, I think I made the video in a park or something. Something didn't come out quite right, but I think the content's okay. So I'm going to post it in my Patreon community. So if you're in the Patreon community, watch out for the video. Sorry about that. By the way, how are you even doing? It's funny. Sometimes someone will ask a question. And once in a blue moon, I won't get back to you for a while, right? And then a couple months later, it's not even relevant. So just out of curiosity, Philip, is the question still relevant? Again, you don't have to go into details. All right. Well, let's see what's going on. So that's the case. Lots going on in March. It's relevant for the future, maybe. I see. Yeah, I think it's a good topic. It is something that gets asked, especially during my one-on-one sessions with people. And also, everyone goes through it. So it's very relatable. Yeah, and there's some kind of idea, too, that people who practice, and any kind of spiritual practice, meditation practice, like we're immune to human suffering or something, right? No. I think, I probably say this a lot in my videos too, we have no control most of the time about what happens. So there's the truth of what's happening, and then there's how I relate to that truth. And that's something we do have some say in. And this is where meditation practice can really help, right? We already know that life is dissatisfying. So how do we approach that from moment to moment? Okay, John says, yeah, doctor said it could be a week or two. I'm hoping for 8 days, but maybe not. Man, I'm sorry, man. Anyways, a lot's going on in March, and I want to maybe make some announcements. I figure in these streams too, something's going on up there. There's some animal on top of the roof having fun. I would figure in the live streams, I will also give some updates of what's going on. Boy, something very interesting is going on. First of all, I just released a new video. Check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. I mean, I guess you can watch it after the stream. I'll put it in the chat for you too, so you don't forget. You can bookmark it. Let me see if I can grab a link. Here we go. Whoa, that's me. All right. So new video is out. I'm doing a lot of stuff this month. There's a retreat I'm leading. So if you're ever interested in sitting a retreat, and a lot of people I meet or a lot of the students I work with are in locations that really don't have much support, meaning may not have a Zen center near them, or they don't have any connection with the teacher. So the retreat I'm leading is online. It's an online retreat. I don't know if registration's up for that. Let me just check it out real quick. Retreats. Let's see. I think Tam may be listening to this, so I can give Tam a hard time. It's still early. It's only March 6th. Let's just see. Register for our next retreat. Let's see which one it pulls up. What do you know? It's the February retreat. So anyways, I'm just going to put this here. Registration will be up. I believe the retreat, let me look at the date. March 21st. So Saturday, March 21st. And that's going to be 6 a.m. Pacific time, the part I'm leading, 6 a.m. Pacific time to 2 p.m. Pacific time. So right now I'm in 12 p.m. Pacific time. So that would give you a sense of the timing. But if you're interested in joining me, let's sit together. So usually during the retreat, it's quite simple. We do sitting and walking meditation. So about 30 minutes of sitting meditation, 10 minutes of walking meditation, then 30 minutes of sitting meditation. During the retreat, I'll be giving koan one-on-one sessions. So that's first a good chance to connect. If you have any questions about your practice, anything you want to talk about, we can connect. And then we can work on some koans. So that's March 21st. I'll put the link. So if you check out this link here, eventually it'll probably be up. Usually the registration's about 2 weeks before the retreat. So stay tuned for that. I'm also doing a workshop for the Quantum Zen Online Sangha 360 series. The workshop's going to be on the 10 ox herding pictures. Does anyone remember me doing that before? I did it once, and I can't remember who hosted that. I know it wasn't Empty Gate Zen Center. It could have been just me doing it, Jason Quinzen, or maybe it was the Quantum Zen. I don't know. I'd have to look back on it. But it's a very, I think it's an important teaching, these ox herding pictures. Does anybody know about these? There's 10 of them. I think originally there was 8, then it got expanded to 10. And I'm going to talk about it in a different way. I know some people really like to get intellectual about this. But it's coming from like a practicing perspective, and I might twist it up a little bit. Tam, if you're listening, here I go. Yeah, Johnston, didn't you do the ox herding pictures yourself? I think I did. I might have done that. By the way, if you're in the Patreon community, you'll have access to this workshop. I have to connect all of that together. So some of you know that if you're in the Patreon community, you have access to all the workshops that I've done, the recordings. Now, most of you know I have a new website. I just need to connect the recordings and my website together. They're already in place. I just got to polish up a few things, and then you will have access to that. So stay tuned on Patreon. I'll put a message out on there letting you all know when that's ready. So it has all the workshops. I think I've done koan workshops. I've done the Foundations of Zen workshop. I've done the Platform Suture workshop. And then I did the 10 ox herding pictures. But wow. Philip says, I have a tattoo of the ox herding pictures. Cool stuff. I had no idea. Did you go to the workshop? So I think what I'm going to do, my idea is first of all, yeah, it's always coming from a practicing perspective. So I remember when Tam was getting this workshop together, they asked me if what to read. And actually, I haven't read about the ox herding pictures. And that's how I wanted to go into the workshop. So I really wanted to come from my experience and as a practicing perspective, rather than just an intellectual one. So I think in the workshop, it's still going to be that, but also I want to get people's kind of experience, or at least people share their experience with each of these pictures. I think it's going to be pretty interesting, because really, what is the ox? What is it referring to? Let me know in the chat what you think it's referring to, if you know something about it. If you don't know anything about it, you can sign up for the workshop. I believe, let me see. I know I had the link to that somewhere. I'll probably post it out, let you all know. So anyways, that's what's going on in March. And then at the end of March, I think I said this last week, I'll be going to the Providence Zen Center for the Buddha's birthday ceremony. Taking my son with me. If you want to meet up, let's meet up in Providence. I guess that's where I do meetups. I just thought about that. Don't people do like meetups and things like that? Let's meet up at the Providence Zen Center. Sounds good, right? So Danny says the ox is awakening. That's interesting. Yeah, that's what it seems like. If you look at these pictures, it's like some people perceive it as like different stages of enlightenment. All right, so Philip smacks desk. Good. But that's one of the pictures, by the way, Philip. What's the next picture? Can you express that? It's going to be interesting. I think this is going to be really interesting. So, yeah, I don't want to give too much away here. So I think what I'll do is, and I might have mentioned this, and I should mention this every week. If you go to my website, I'm going to share my screen so you can check it out. And I guess I should put all of the information on here. Let's see, go to my website. Let me share my screen. Share screen. Jason Quinn Zen. Have you all seen my new website? So if you go to the homepage, jasonquinnzen.com, go to the very bottom. Oh, I got to update that. Very bottom. You'll see my calendar. Now, this calendar is pretty much live, and these are the things I'm doing. Some of them I do every week. So just because I do so many different things, like for the Quantum School of Zen, for Empty Gate Zen Center, sometimes people will invite me to do a podcast or some kind of stream thing. If I'm doing a workshop, all of that will be here. So if you want to know what's happening, check that out. Okay. Let's see. Mr. Jet Mango says, "Hi, everyone. Good to see you." And you say yes. Yes to what? Was that my website? Maybe I can't remember what I asked. Anyways, if you're just joining us, welcome to the Dharma Friends live stream hangout. Good chance to connect. If you haven't already, let us know where you're watching the stream from. Mr. Jet Mango says yes to enlightenment. I say no to enlightenment. How about that? Oh, yes to the website. Okay. Okay. So going back to Danny, what if the ox actually referred to your mind? And then maybe the question would be mind and enlightenment, same or different? It's bringing up a lot of questions here. Also, if you have any questions about Zen, meditation, your practice, any kind of question, go ahead and put it in the chat and I'll try to answer for you. Thanks for being here today, by the way. All right, so that's March. So we have, let's see, the workshop, the retreat. The workshop's going to be on, I believe it's going to be 2 dates. So March 16th and then March 23rd. So March 16th is a Monday. So we'll do like the first 5 pictures, answer any kind of questions. And then on March 23rd, which is a Monday, week after, we'll go through the last 5 and also answer any questions. But I think it's really important to also see too, how does practice really connect with everyday life? And this is something I'm passionate about. I always say there seems like there's some kind of gap between meditation practice, or let's just say any kind of spiritual practice, and then our lives. Why is that? And there's also sometimes there's this like, we take away some kind of view. So maybe you had a view of likes and dislikes, or maybe you had a certain view of the world or certain view of people, right? So you took that away and then we just replace it with another view. And that's a spiritual view. I'm not saying this is good or bad, but it definitely has a natural result. If our mind is clouded with anything, it's impossible to really perceive the moment clearly. If we cannot perceive this moment clearly, then we can't respond to what's needed in the moment. So going back to this ox herding pictures, one of the steps too is, do you take away one of the pictures, is taking away all of those views, even the spiritual ones, the how may I help ones, the Zen ones, the idea of enlightenment, any of those. We have to take them all away. Then our mind is the moment. So what's going to be interesting about this workshop too, the ox herding workshop, 10 ox herding pictures workshop. What's the title of this anyways? Let me see if I can find it. But I think what's also interesting too is kind of to see how practice has shifted over time. Zen Master Sung Song once said that when Zen was flourishing in China, most of the people who were practicing were monastics. Most of them, the majority. And most of those monastics didn't have much of a connection to society. So when we talk about correct situation, correct relationship, and correct function, that wasn't so much important. In fact, their relationship was to their practice. So many monastics didn't have to think about much, meaning they had food given to them, clothes given to them, they had a place to practice. So the only focus was practice. Now, if we fast forward to 2026, I would say most people who practice Zen are lay people. Would you agree with that? I don't have stats to prove that, but that's my guess. And if you look at lay people, they have a bigger connection to society. So people have families, people go to school, people go to work. So really, like, the functioning is very important. So we talk about the first thing I talked about is taking away everything in our mind. So taking away our view, all of it. Then we can perceive the truth of the moment. Then what? How does that truth function? So how do we respond to the things that are appearing in our lives? So earlier I said, we don't have much control to most things that happen. But how do we relate to those things that are appearing? So this is where the functioning comes in. I think in Buddhism, it's called skillful means. That's probably the hardest part about practice. Having an experience of truth is quite simple. In fact, that happens all the time. But learning how to skillfully function to the truth is a whole nother story. And that's what a lot of people are working with. You know, you hear this argument about sudden enlightenment and gradual enlightenment, right? The way I perceive this is the only time you can ever wake up is this moment. There's nothing gradual about it. You know, gradual sounds like if you're working out. Like if I wanted to be a bodybuilder, I would go to the gym every day. I would eat certain kinds of foods, and I can measure the results. Every week I can measure my arms and my legs and see that there's growth, there's an improvement. But when we're talking about waking up or enlightenment or perceiving your true self, it could only happen now. I know we look at it as progression. Well, yeah, 7 years ago I was like this and now I'm like this. But there's still only this moment. I remember my teacher used to say something funny. Give me 1 second of the past right now. Give it to me. I was like, I can't do that. Okay, you can't do that. So give me 1 second of the future. Show me. Anybody? Anybody? Right? Because they don't exist. They only exist in our thinking. So the only time we can wake up is now. So that's the sudden part. But to perceive truth or let's see how to phrase this, to perceive your true self or to perceive enlightenment is one thing. And how we use that from moment to moment in a way that's clear and helpful is another. So that's why if you practice in the quantum school of Zen, we talked about primary point. That's the experience before thinking, where my mind and the moment are not separate. Then second point is we can perceive truth. So if we take away all views, boom, then everything wakes up. Sometimes in Buddhism, you hear about the 6 dusts, right? So we have these senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind. And there's dust clouding these senses, right? The eyes have dust, right? We just want to kind of see what we want to see. I want to see beautiful things. I don't want to see ugly things. That's also made by thinking. I only want to hear certain things. I want to pretend I didn't hear that, right? The world is doing that. We are living in denial, most of us, a lot of us, let's just say that, right? So take away these 6 dusts so we can see truth or perceive truth. And then the third point is, how does that function? Yeah, it may be easy to function clearly when you're around people you like your family, your friends, but maybe not so easy to respond clearly with someone who has a completely different view than you, a different opinion, a different belief, right? I think most of us struggle with that. So, yeah, I think coming back to the ox herding pictures too, I think we can talk about all of these things and how these pictures kind of relates to these different points of mind. When we first started practicing, we really wanted something. We want to stop our thinking. Did anyone see my new video? Check it out. It's kind of amusing. But it's something I hear a lot. I want to stop my thinking. How do I stop my thinking? Oh, the Zen practice, the meditation is not working because I still have thinking. This kind of talk, right? So, yeah, these like the beginning of these pictures kind of talk about that and the struggle we have with it, the fighting we have with our thinking, right? Yeah, I'm excited to do it. I did it once and I thought it was okay. Every time I do a workshop, like the first time I do it, it's like, okay, I learned something from it. And then hopefully we'll polish it up a little bit. And hopefully it's helpful. That's the main thing. Anyways, if you're just joining us, welcome to the Dharma Friends live stream hangout. If you haven't already, let us know in the chat where you're watching the stream from. Also, if you have any questions about Zen, meditation, your practice, life, any kind of question, go ahead and put it in the chat. Chat's been quiet today, I've noticed. But, every week is different. Last week was very active and engaged. Some weeks are very slow. Reminds me of myself, actually. I do want to share something else in this book, The Compass of Zen. Something we've been talking about on Thursday. And probably, actually, this is something we even talked about today. There's I was talking about the ox herding pictures, how we have some, understanding of it is fine. But how do we experience these things that we talk about? So we talked about the ox herding pictures. We talked about true self. We talked about enlightenment. We talked about correct function. Talked about truth. These are wonderful things, right? That's pointing us to a direction. But how do we actually experience these things in this moment? And how do we express it? That's a whole nother thing. John says, I have a few people who say they would meditate if they only could stop their thinking. Yeah, that's quite yeah, so there's that one. Here, I should make another video of this. I talked about like the common mistakes in meditation. I made a video about that. I think it's like the 5 most common mistakes in meditation. Yeah, one of them is trying to stop the thinking. But also something that we don't usually see is the preference mind, the like and dislike mind. What did the third patriarch say? Somebody help me out. The way is not difficult. All we have to do is let go of our likes and dislikes. Is that how it goes? I should look that up. If somebody knows, put it in the chat. I'm going to look it up. I think it was the third ancestor, right? Yes, the great way is not difficult for those who do not make distinctions. Let go of likes and dislikes, and everything will be perfectly clear. Now, this is one translation that I got. I think I got this from Stanley Lombardo, I believe. If you read that right away, so Philip said, if only we don't pick and choose. So here's the mistake I see in this kind of teaching, and it happens, all Zen teachers do this. The great way is not difficult for those who do not make distinctions. Let go of likes and dislikes, and everything will be perfectly clear. So here's another mistake I hear people say. Then how are you not supposed to have likes and dislikes? So it's not saying, not having likes and dislikes. We're not holding the likes and dislikes. So human beings are deluded. Buddha pointed out very clearly. In fact, one of our vows in the four great vows says, delusions are endless. We vow to cut through them all. So it's not like you practice a certain amount of time or you're going to sit along retreat and then delusions stop. Every moment there is a delusion. Can we see through it? So this is what the teaching of the third ancestor is. So if you don't hold, if you don't feel your distinctions, your likes and dislikes, then everything will be perfectly clear. Right? Because you're sitting and I might have shared this before. We want the good feeling and the good sounds, right? Here's the dusts, again, that are clouding the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind. So one day, I just started practicing. This was 1997. I was first started practicing in the Quantum School of Zen. It was in Seattle, and it was in the spring. And it was an unusual day in Seattle because it was actually quite sunny and very warm for April. So we had the windows open, and I was sitting there, and you could just smell the fresh air coming in. I can feel the wind touch my skin. I heard a bird chirping. It's like, this is meditation, right? There's my likes. I like that. Now I am calm. Then, moments later, the next door neighbor dog started to bark. Woof, 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 woof. And it didn't stop for the whole sitting period. I didn't like that. So now my meditation is ruined and I'm dissatisfied. So after the session, I was talking to one of the senior teachers. He was a monk at the time. Some of you know Tim Lurch. At that time, he was Chung Hei Sanim. He helped me out a lot when I first started practicing. So I was asking him, I was sitting and everything was wonderful. And that dog's bark was so noisy, it ruined my meditation. And he said, noisy? The barking was noisy? I said, yeah, of course it was. I heard it. It ruined my meditation. And then he said, the dog's bark never said it was noisy. Who made it noisy? And that really hit me. It's like, I made it noisy. And I created this whole meditation idea in my head that it's, quiet. Hear the birds chirping, smell the fresh air. Of course, we like that. But that wasn't happening. So I was dissatisfied. So the truth of what was happening didn't match my idea. This is why human beings suffer. It's not rocket science. Because if my mind was clear, I wouldn't have heard the dog barking. It would just be woof, woof, which means that your mind and the bark are not separate. Your mind and the bird chirping are not separate. Your mind and the cool breeze are not separate. Your mind and the fresh air are not separate. So this is what it means to take away all of these dusts. Our mind becomes the moment. The name for this is truth, true self, enlightenment. There's many different names for this. So maybe I'll make a video about that. There's all kinds of things we do in meditation that sometimes we don't realize. That's why it's good to practice with people and good to stay connected with the teacher, I think. Okay, let's see. Mr. Jet Mango, I was reading the ox herding story a long time ago. Forgot what was the point since, but I remember it being about reintegrating into society after realization with everyday life becoming more clear. Yeah, basically that's it. Important than realization of emptiness. That's right. Could you talk about letting go as an act of compassion? Yeah, that's very interesting. I give this very simple analogy. So you wake up in the morning and you're feeling great. Man, it's going to be a great day. I feel so good. I'm happy. And you're walking down the street and you see, let's say, your friend in a distance, coming, and their face is very sad. We do this with everybody, friends, family, strangers, doesn't matter who it is. Okay, this person's very sad. Most people, or again, a lot of people, I don't want to generalize here, a lot of people would see that and go, I don't want that person affecting my mood. I don't want their mojo. I'm going a different way, right? You go a different way. So that means we're holding in our mind some experience. I feel great. Or like when I was sitting in Seattle, I was holding that experience in the beginning. Oh, it's so peaceful and quiet. The air smells good. The birds chirping, holding that experience. And then when that experience changed, I suffered, right? Because I was still holding some idea. There's a lot of interesting voices around my area right now. I don't know who's around. There's somebody talking. It could be the voices in my head. So letting go. So what if you wake up in the morning, you're feeling great, you're happy, and you're walking down the street, and that person who's sad is coming. When you meet them, your mind becomes sad. You're not holding your experience. There's a saying like, put yourself in someone else's shoes. This is the meaning of this, where your mind is just reflecting the truth. So if somebody's sad, then you experience that sadness too. Now, you may not know what they're going through and all the details and all that stuff, but we all can experience the raw sensations of a human being: anger, fear, sadness, happiness, clarity, all of it. So this is where compassion actually comes from. It's not a belief. I know there's some practices where you do compassionate actions and then eventually you'll be compassionate. That's one technique maybe. But if your mind is the moment, then compassion already appears. You feel the sadness, you want to do something. So then you act. If we're holding our experience, so not letting go, if we're holding something, then we can't have that experience of compassion, and we're not going to respond in a way that's helpful at all. So that's how I would say how letting go is an act of compassion. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so Stefan is here. Hello from Ottawa, Ontario. Good to see you. Welcome back. Michael's here. Hey, Michael. How you been doing, by the way? We got to meet for a one-on-one. See what you're up to. Are you going to be at Buddha's birthday in March? I get the end of March, right? March 28th, 29th. My son and I are going, so maybe we can meet there. Anyways, Michael says, hi, Jason and everyone. Hope you are well. And if you're just joining us, welcome to the Dharma Friends live stream hangout. We've got about 15 minutes left. So if you have any questions about Zen, meditation, practice, your life, any kind of question, put it in the chat. I'll try to answer it for you. All right. Adam says, I have to go now for evening practice. Stay safe, Varda. Get well soon, John. I'm glad we could all meet here again. Bye. See you, Adam. I see Adam quite a lot. All right. John says bye to Adam. Varda says thank you. Yeah, Varda, really, you're definitely. I'm doing a lot of chanting for many people, but you in particular, and people I know in this terrible situation. So, just to let you know, people are chanting for you. Mr. Jet Mango, great answer. Thank you. Yes, You're welcome. Maybe I'll use that as a clip. I've been using this webcam. I told you last week, I was using my really nice camera, and for some reason, the audio and video were not syncing for some reason. I'm assuming it had something to do with the software I'm using, but it's not doing that on this webcam here. So I'm just going to do it. And it's easier to set up because my webcam's always on my screen. All right. So John says, bye, Adam. All right. Bye. Stefan says, hi. Philip, I was listening to a past recording like this one, and you were mentioning something about coming to Europe at some point. Do you still plan on it? Yes. Yes. So some of you know I'm very creative as far as like planning things. So one thing I like to do is use credit card points for all kinds of things. It's kind of like my mom. I remember she used to cut coupons from the newspaper. Anyone remember that? I'm not sure what the age here. So I do that like for where I shop. I use it's all on an app now. But man, we're saving hundreds of dollars, man. It's great. And I just realized we had enough points to fly free to Europe. So the plan is, let's see, when is it going? July 1st, we're flying from San Francisco and heading to London. So if you live in the London area, I will be going there with my family July 1st, and I think we're staying till the 7th. Then after that, I believe we're taking a train to Barcelona. We're going to visit. So hopefully I'll visit the Zen Center in London. I'm right now in communications with people about that. But I'm definitely going to visit what is it called? Borisov? Anyone know Borisov? It's in, I can't remember the area right now. But it's in the mountains, and I'm hoping to visit that center as well, and also just the Barcelona Zen Center, the Zen Center in Barcelona. And we'll probably be there for a week or something like that. I think we're in Europe for 2 weeks, and then we leave. So yes, that's what the plan is so far. Stefan says, yeah, so I think you're referring to coupons maybe. Mr. Jet Mango, Jason, have you ever been to Prague, Warsaw in Poland, or Dublin in Ireland? No, and no. Now, when Tam used to live in Czech, I was going to visit both Tam and George, visit the Zen Center there and also the Zen Center in Prague. But I never got a chance to do that. And it's very expensive to fly there. To go here from Europe is very expensive, especially the time we can go. Like if we go to Mexico, it's very easy and it's very inexpensive to go there. We actually drove one time to San Felipe, right? And spent $120 in gas just because our car got really good gas mileage. But it's usually too expensive. And that's really the reason why I can't. Now, if one time I had a chance to go to Poland or Warsaw, because that was the time they used to do the whole 3 months in Warsaw. And they invited me, I was a monk at the time, to be the head Dharma teacher for the 3-month retreat. I decided not to go there, and I went to Korea, Musongsa. So I do have to say, if somebody wants to invite me to lead a retreat, so usually if I lead a retreat somewhere, the Zen Center will pay for the flights. So that's one way I can get to Europe without using points. Because it is very expensive to get there. For me, for where I live, it's very expensive. So I haven't been to Warsaw, almost did. In Dublin, I always wanted to go to Ireland because my heritage is Irish. I don't know if you knew that. I guess Quinn, Quinn, is an Irish name. All right, let's get through the chat. We have about 10 more minutes. John says, what's a newspaper? Yeah, do people read newspaper? Anyone here read a newspaper? I don't see them anymore. I used to see like our neighbors getting papers delivered, but in the last couple of years, I have not. So yeah, Philip says, Borisov, yes. Been there, beautiful. Yeah, I hope to get there. So, Stefan, yes, the coupons. I had to carry them in my envelope. Mom used a couple for everything. Yeah. Now everything's electronic, man. No, you won't believe it. Like I just saved like yesterday, like $40 because it was like $4 off this product, and I got 4 of them. I mean, 10 of them. So that's $40 right there. Barbara and Tonda asked me about you and told me to pass word that you should visit. You know what? I'm going to contact them because we will be there for sure. And we're staying in, boy, I wish I could remember my thing. My wife set a lot of this up. I took care of the points part and she set up the rest of the part. Let me see if it's on our list. Actually, let me look at the map. I'll tell you where we're staying. And I will get in contact with Tonda and Barbara because last time I saw Tonda was in Providence Zen Center. And I believe it was 3 years ago when I went. He was there and kept saying, man, you got to visit. You got to visit. Well, we're coming now. And this will be my first time in Europe. Let's see. All right, let me zoom in. So we're flying into Barcelona because that's cheap. And then I believe like renting a car to Girona. Anybody know that area? So I think we might be staying there for a little bit. I think we'll be close to visit them. Anyways, I'll get in contact with them. Snowfinch, hey, look who's there. Credit card points. I remember Green Shield stamps. They were a sales promotion scheme that rewarded shoppers with stamps that they could use to buy gifts from a catalog. Yep. Mr. Jamingo, yes, similar to us to go to Europe, for example, to Indonesia. Flight is expensive, but when you get there, it's cheap. You are always super welcome in Dublin. All right. I do want to go there. And if anyone wants to do a retreat or want me to come to retreat, let me know. I'll do that. Anyways, any last questions? Some people are already tailing off already. Got a few more minutes. Any last questions or comments before we leave? Thanks for being here today, too. It's good to connect with you all. Really is helpful, I have to say. And also to kind of understand people's situations. You know, one thing that's interesting about traveling, since I'm thinking about it now, is I remember the first time I went to Mexico. And it was pretty much every country I went to. As a monk, I got to travel a lot too, because my teacher dragged me around. It's like, wow, wherever you go, there's human suffering. You know, sometimes we get deluded because we might hear about a place or see pictures of a place. Oh, that's wonderful. But wherever you go, there's human suffering of some kind. And, for me, traveling really helped me hone in on that. I mean, it's really why I started practicing Zen. It's why I started teaching and all of that too, is investigating that. So Stefan says, have a great weekend. Yeah, you too. And Varda says, Alta Goraxta. I don't know what that is. I'm sure that means something. Maybe I'll look that up. No, I can't do that. Anyways, I was happy to be here. Thank you so much for being here today. John says, constant bolsa to everyone. Hopefully you'll be more peaceful when you travel. Yeah, that's true too. I didn't even think about that. Who knows what's going to be going on in July, right? Yeah. Thank you, John, for that. And thank you, everyone, for your comments, your questions, for being here. Thank you for your practice. Have a clear day.